Hey guys, McBean here. I'm a key forward for the Bays and wearing number 1, and this week's going to be my 100th game. I think it probably transcends a little bit more than just sort of 100 games of footy. I think moving here from Victoria 6 years ago, probably didn't realise the sort of journey that football would sort of take me, and now being able to establish a life here and obviously be a part of a footy club that's really looked after me considerably over that period of time. It's pretty special now to think that I'm going to have my name on a locker. So yeah, it's a pretty proud moment for me. I thought after I'd finished up at Richmond that it was probably worthwhile getting a bit of a change and moving away from Victoria, and my sort of experience after being delisted and sort of conversations I'd had led me to believe that I may potentially be looking to go into state regardless, and whether that was going to be on an AFL list still or at a state league. That's what I had my head set around, and I was really craving a new challenge. I'd lost a lot of direction in my life after getting delisted, and then I had a call from Darcy, who I played a lot of junior footy with and against. So Bales and I played for Strathmore and Aberfeldy in the Essendon District Footy League, and he just asked me what my plans were for the next year and put me in touch with Paul Sandico, and came over here, and the rest is history. I think when you move over and you've essentially uprooted your life, living in a new environment, living in a new house with different new housemates that you don't really know that well, and then also from a work perspective, settling into a new job and doing that all without any form of family here was a bit of a challenge the first couple of months, but what really kept me going, I suppose, was I'd front up to training at 5:30, every night or every second night, and get to further, I suppose, ingrain myself into the Glenelg Football Club and the people that are associated with that. So in essence, the footy club became very much my home, and that certainly was the case from that point when I first moved here, and then obviously all the way through the COVID years where I couldn't really get home and see family, and that was a real struggle. But I feel like this place has given me a lot in terms of family and support, so I've been very lucky. I'd heard about clubs getting really good crowds at the state league games, and something that was pretty foreign to me playing in the VFL. And then to walk out game 1 against Port Adelaide here, and there was about 6,000 people there, and they had a banner and had the fireworks going off, and I thought, wow, I think I made a pretty good decision here. So we had a really good win against Port round 1, and I think that fueled, I suppose, a little bit of optimism as to the direction the footy club was heading in. So yeah, it was great to be part of that, and certainly a memory I won't forget. I suppose the number 1 always has to be the premiership. Coming back after having a year off footy, there's nothing that probably sums up what that last 3 or 4 minutes, that fourth quarter in that grand final, probably how that feels. The moments after the game and seeing the supporters and how thrilled they were to see a premiership in their lifetime, and that's when it sort of hits home, I think, that you're at a club that's really got a strong history. It's got a really loyal supporter base. It's seen a lot of mediocrity, particularly after, for about a 10 to 15 year period, and to then see the success and the build, that was certainly something that I'll never forget. I think also, being able to represent the state on a few occasions, I think that was a really, big honour for me, and to be able to captain the state as well was something that, as a Victorian coming over here, I probably never thought I'd do. But there's been some terrific memories. I think just the things that you think about, though, probably more than just those standout memories, is probably the times after a win when you're sitting in the change rooms with the boys and having a drink and celebrating a win, or the times during a game when you can feel everyone's clicking in motion, and we're playing some really good footy and you can feel we're going to win the game. But also you can go to work and have a pretty average day at work, and you turn up on a Monday or a Tuesday, and you know that after that session you're going to feel a little bit better about the world. So there's some of the sort of memories I think I'll hold pretty dear. The COVID years were certainly probably the biggest challenges that I've faced. 2020, 2021, pretty much spending 6 to 8 months without having, or not being able to see family at all. You obviously risk that if I was to go back home to Melbourne, I wouldn't be able to get back in, given what was going on in Victoria. So that was a really challenging period, and that sort of separation and just not being able to even make a choice. But like I mentioned before, throughout that period, I feel like if I didn't have the Glenelg Football Club and the people associated, that it would have been a much harder much harder time, and I was really grateful for that, so I can't be too unhappy with that. And then I suppose as well, it's always challenging. I think last year was a challenging period for the club too, because I think we had such high expectations of where we thought we were at, and we fell short of that. And I think now that I'm 28, you sort of realise you're closer to the end than to the start, so you want to make the most of every opportunity to be successful. So, but I think that's always, you always can look at it from a different lens. I think those challenges often come with the greatest rewards if you're prepared to work hard enough. So, yeah, they're probably some of the challenges I reckon across the journey. I think when I came over here initially, I certainly didn't see myself as a leader. I found I wanted football to be fun. I didn't really want to have too much extra responsibility as part of that. I think the more I got invested in the football club, the more that desire and drive to want to be, part of that leadership team evolved. And so I suppose, Max Proud and Chris Curran probably right up there, as well as Andrew Bradley, who are such focal points for the football club, particularly during really difficult periods of adversity. Mark Stone was a massive influence on me. I had a really great relationship and still have a great relationship with Stoney, and I never forget, one of my fondest memories is probably one thing that shaped me a fair bit was I was filthy in 2020 when he didn't put me in the leadership group after we won the flag. That was when I started to really want that responsibility, and I didn't get the gig, and I rang him and he said, the feedback I've got for you is that I think you've got great relationships within the playing group and people love you and you're so well liked. But at the moment, I don't think you've got the courage to have a hard conversation with someone if you feel like they should be doing more. So I tried my hardest then to work on that, and I think when you've got trusted relationships within a group of people, you can actually afford to pull people up and wrap your arm around them and sort of give them a little bit of a rev up if you really need to. And I feel like that really, I suppose, shaped my leadership in a way. But there have been so many people that have sort of impacted that across the journey, and even now with Reva as the coach, I'm learning so much from him every day. So yeah, I'm very, very grateful for the people that have influenced that journey. Right from the outset, it was Max Proud and Brad Agnew that really took me in under their wing, and Carl Nicholson, Tom Schott. They're probably some of the ones that stood out right from the early days, where I really didn't know anyone at all and got invited to a lot of the social gatherings. Josh Scott, Warwick McGinty, some of these guys that made me actually feel like I was already part of the footy club before I'd started, and then it's evolved over time, and playing with guys like Matty Allen and Billy Stretch, Lockie Hosey, Luke Reynolds, Michael Virgin as well, who is obviously a really loved player here as well. And recent times having the support of Corey Lyons as well. He's become a really close friend, and I think he's a really good person for the football club. When you see good people walk through the door and they're going to make an impact too, that really fills you with optimism for where the journey's going. Obviously, when you move away from friends and family, the football club really, in essence, becomes that, like I mentioned. And I can honestly say that there's really no one across the course of the journey that I've been here at the footy club with that I haven't really gotten along with or had a bad word to really say about. So I've been really blessed. I think it's a credit to the culture that's been created here over a number of years, where we're really set on what we want and who we want to be a part of this. So yeah, they're, I suppose, some of the closer ones that I've become mates with, and even experiences like being a part of Brad Agnew's wedding, and being there through Max Proud and Alice, his partner's journey as a couple, to now being engaged. Like, they're some of the memories that I hold really, really close to me. Mum and Dad tune into, I dare say they'd be lucky to miss any games, no matter what they do. I think they drop everything to make sure they watch, and I don't tell them nearly enough just how important and vital they are to me, and how even when they're 800 kilometres away, that I can still feel their support. And honestly, if he's not commenting on Facebook posts, he's messaging me 4,000 times and waiting for a text back and then spraying me for not calling him. But no, he's so passionate. I think for him, he saw, and my parents and my sister saw the ecstasy of it all when you get drafted and you're the pinnacle of your life, and then the agony of it all when you get delisted and that whole dream shatters, and all of a sudden it's a real what next moment. You've sort of got to pick up all the pieces from that bottom out. So I think he's just been, and Mum and my sister have just been so happy and proud that I've come to a football club that's really taken me in and looked after me and ultimately shaped me into a better person. In recent times, the last few years, my partner Amber's been an enormous support for me, and I feel like I've grown even more so since we've been together, and she challenges me and is there to sort of wrap their arms around me when I'm probably feeling a little bit down, and footy can really test you at times. So, you know, my family, you know, that core support group has just been phenomenal. But like I mentioned, coming from Victoria, I was really taken in and embraced right from the outset at the club, whether it was from families, the players, the families, the supporters. You know, even if it's after the rooms, you know, in the bistro area, and people coming up to you and wrapping their arm around you and telling you how well you played, or, you know, pumping you up when you sort of need it. And those moments were so vital to me when things weren't going so well. Still feeling that warmth and support of people around me was what really drove me and motivated me to keep going. And I think one thing I've always felt is super valued and appreciated by the supporters here at Glenelg. And I hope I've been able to give back to them, you know, what they've been able to give to me, and I hope I can continue to deliver some more success with the playing group we have now, because I'll never forget walking around Adelaide Oval and having, you know, supporters crying and telling you how much it means to them, and that's, you know, something I really want to replicate and do it all over again. So from the bottom of my heart, really, it's a thank you. I really appreciate all the support. Well, I think the drive is still, you know, it's probably stronger than ever. I think when you win a premiership, even, you know, 2019, admittedly, I probably didn't. I appreciated it so much afterwards. At the time, I probably didn't realise the significance of it and how much it would actually impact my life, and then how much it would impact my desire and drive for football again. You spend so much of your year, life, training, playing, all to get to that one moment. So for me at the moment, I just feel like we've got such an incredible group of people here that are genuinely invested in trying to, you know, get more success for this club. And I'd really love to change the narrative that we don't deliver, you know, when it comes to finals times and grand finals. And I think with this list and where we're at now, we've got an amazing opportunity to build a bit of a dynasty. There just seems to be real harmony with, you know, amongst everyone. And I think there's a lot of things that we've learned from the last couple of years, and a lot of accountability that had to be taken for, you know, potential dips in performance and complacency. And you realise how hard it is to actually win one. And that's what I've probably taken away from, you know, coming from 2019 and then moving into the last few years. And you still feel like we've got the most talented, you know, playing group. We can definitely win one. But if there are, you know, if you're only sort of 85, 90% engaged or invested that whole period of time, it can be taken away from you really quickly. And the careers go really, really quickly. Like, I never thought I'd be 28 sitting here talking about my 100th game. And like I said, I'm closer to the end than I am to the start. So, you know, it's so exciting. You know, I feel like the opportunity we've got, and I really, really, really believe we can make the most of it. And it's just about everyone, you know, towing that same line. And, you know, before I'm all said and done, I'd love to be able to deliver a few more premierships to this club, and then right off into the sunset knowing I gave it everything.